Well, for me, it came very natural, I think, because as I said, we have similar techniques, and a lot of actually Sevdiah incorporates a lot of Indian techniques too. So it came very natural, and I dance other dances too, all Latin dances, ballroom dances, and Indian dances. So it came very natural for me.
I've had one of my students was 74, and she was still grooving. I teach in modification. I don't have 6 to 8 week courses. I can't do it. I can't do it on that kind of curriculum because I like to travel, and I've been certified in yoga. And the way we were taught in yoga is to teach in modification. So I give them options. They could either challenge their steps by adding spins or more arms or something. To modify that, don't exert yourself so much. Just concentrate on the feet and don't spin. Throw slide in there or something else that you might be feeling more comfortable with, other than trying to challenge yourself like everybody else around you. Don't worry about anybody else around you. You know what you're capable of. Your body knows how to move. Follow it, honor it, do what you can do. Don't try to push yourself too hard.
That Sevdiah helped me with anything I need help on, and she teaches me most of my moves. Sometimes I'll look at tapes that other people have done, and sometimes I'll watch their moves. Mostly, Sevdiah teaches me all my moves I know.
It's like watching, your baby birds grow. It's really like I could cry sometimes because I'm so proud that they started by just being frustrated or saying that they couldn't do it. They're being too hard on themselves. And they actually heeded my verbiage, by telling them not to go away from it. Stay with it. Do the modifications. Then move into the challenges. It means the world to me. It does. I love that feeling most of all because it's really touching because they look up to you. And it's an appreciation that they have for you. Well, in Egypt, to wear shoes meant that you came from royalty, and you must have, some riches if you had shoes. That's why everybody danced barefoot, and that's how it got started. So shoes were a status, and but as far as today, everybody wears shoes. It's not correct to be out there without shoes. It is supposed to represent, being closer to the earth and just being more grounded and whatnot like that on a spiritual level. But the way it really came out, speaking from truthfully from the past, it did have to do with financial status. To have shoes, to own a pair of shoes, meant that you had money as a dancer. Just like with the coins, that came from gypsies. They were proving to anybody that they came across that they would earn their money, and that's why they would sew it onto their outfits. And today it's just a fashion. The veil, it's a Western thing. They did do it in Egypt. It was mostly used to come out there before the dance, just to kind of show off, and then you throw it off to the side. Same thing kind of like with the sword, it was more of a Western thing. The cane, the asaya, this has more of the traditional meaning behind it. The cane represents like the weapon, because they weren't allowed to have guns, knives, or anything to protect their home, their family, their livestock. So they would have the asaya, the cane, and they use that today in a lot of the performances, and they added a little, crook on the end, so it does look like a handle, and it looks like a cane, but the men dance with the big sticks. Performance only lasts for so long, and then it goes into being a really, good teacher. Once you could become that, then that'll be your next step. You know, you should always have a backup plan, of course, but performing only lasts as long as you look decent enough for people to really appreciate that appeal. And that's just the way society is. I'm not going to have the stamina that I have now when I'm 60, and who's going to want to see me performing at a restaurant or a nightclub when I'm 60, unless it's that kind of atmosphere, you know, where it is acceptable. You could get away with it, but not for too much longer. And it depends on how big you get. I mean, there's some artists out there that are, you know, real seasoned and real mature and still doing surprisingly well and in high demand, has instructors. To be at least a feature performer at some of the events, which is always nice. But as far as like doing the clubs and the weddings and stuff, that's not going to last for too long. I mean, I hope I'm still looking and feeling as well as I do, but who's to say? You know, when your health starts, you know, going, or your body starts going, maybe even your hair. Who knows? But I could definitely see myself probably still doing this like no later than my late 40s. My sister looks really good, and she's in her late 40s, approaching 50s. And if I'm doing as good as she is, I might still be giving it a whirl.